Hello everybody and welcome back to another tutorial thing on a children's book illustration. I really want to change one thing real fast before I go into what I'm going to go into today. So I want to make that's her lip. That's not like her jaw or her chin. That wasn't her chin. And it kind of looked like it was. That's supposed to be like her bottom lip. Oops. So I want to like try to imply more lippage. That's more of a lip, you know? Maybe go with that. Like, I could look at this all day and find things wrong with it, so I'm not going to spend too much time working on that. But today, we're going to be working on the background. And if we get into it, we'll go into the color balance, light and dark, shadows, highlights and low lights. Otherwise known as shadow, I suppose. Hey, why is that not an eraser? I'm using my eraser. You get fixed right now. There we go. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But anyways, we're going to work on the background. BG for background. BG. That's the name of that. So throughout this entire book, I've been going with this style, kind of impressionistic almost. I want it to look kind of like a watercolor, but not exactly like that. So I've just been going with the style, and I'm gonna just keep going with it. So for now, so she is in a candy store. That's the background of this particular few pages here, and I don't exactly know how to portray that. I guess before I do that, I'll do a quick sketch of what it could potentially look like. So I do have a couple references up on my other screen here, and I do have like a candy store thing where it's got like a bunch of hoppers and then a bunch of like separate. It's like hoppers. It's like a candy. Like imagine a soda fountain, but it's candy. That's what is it. That's what it is. So I'm gonna just go with that. If you look up candy store on like Google or something, you'll probably find the image I'm using. Just don't tell them, you know. Although I don't think they have any claims on it if I draw a picture, right? Like if I were to just take the photo, then they could be mad. But if I don't do that, then if I use it as a for an illustration, I can get away with it potentially. I am going to make a couple changes on it just to make it a little more streamlined, and then I'll do that there, and then this one will go here, 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 and these are going to be like curved pieces. And there will be another one behind her back, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna erase these. Why is my eraser so small? And if you're just tuning in, I don't use shortcuts really. So if you're wondering why I'm like just tapping everywhere rather than using like the shortcut, it's because I'm a lazy SOB. I'm a lazy SOB. But anyways, these are the buckets. These are the buckets. So up here, this area, those are the hoppers. And then the hoppers fill into these buckets. And then these buckets are used from the buckets. You can fill up your candy bag. with whatever candy you want, because it's a candy store. That's what candy stores look like. I think I've only been into actually one candy store in my entire life, and that was in New York. I got an ice cream, like a sundae from there, and it was like they literally put like a cheesecake on the sundae. Like it was pretty tall too. Like the thing was 8 inches tall. It was like an 8 inch tall cup. And on top of everything, they put a cheesecake on the like, so there's the frosting topping, right? And then in that, just plop a cheesecake. It was wild. Needless to say, I did not eat it all, because that's just a lot. That's just a lot. All right, so this is like, these are this is where the candy is, and then these are also going to have candy in them, as much as I can like make it look like that. And then I'll have like a scoop or something in there. And then that's gonna, maybe 1 or 2 scoops. Maybe just the 1 scoop, because I'll put one here too. Here'll be another one. It'll be an implied scoop. Good. That's my background. The candy I'll do with texture. But that's my background. I'm gonna fade it so I can draw on top of it and see what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna use a brush. I'm using like an acrylic looking brush, kind of, just to kind of give that painterly feeling, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to just go with it. Everything's just going to be painted. So I'm not worried about being exactly precise on the background. Like so there's layers, right? The closer to the forefront you get, the more detailed the more detailed I make my drawings for this particular project. And it doesn't necessarily have a, oops, that was the wrong layer. It doesn't necessarily have an outline either. So like this background is not going to have an outline. I'm actually going to put the sketch on top of what I'm drawing so I can follow the guides better. I'm on the wrong layer again. I'm a stupid. But I will kind of just, there we go. And let's make this a little darker for some variation. I need to decide which direction the light is coming. Maybe from like this angle. Can you see that? Like maybe like that. But that wouldn't make sense. Like maybe more like this. So then like that'll make her head shade. I'll have to have like a shadow over here and stuff. But a very light shadow, because she's going to be inside, so it's not like the lighting inside buildings is like crap. So to make this look like plastic, I'm going to give everything like a whitish outline to kind of like imply the separate pieces of plastic. So do that, and then just to imply plastic. Because if you have a translucent material, the more layers of that translucent material there are, the more that base color is going to show through, right? So like imagine glass. Glass is pretty much see-through, right? It has no color. But when you start having a ton of layers of glass on top of each other, one after the other, you know, it looks like it turns kind of green, right? It almost looks like it's green. That's because the glass is not actually white. It's not actually see-through. Not white, but see-through. There is a very fine base color to the glass, and it's green. And it comes through the more layers you look through. It's the same thing with mirrors, right? So if you've ever been in a situation where you see, if you can like look into a mirror where there's a mirror, kind of like, if there's a mirror behind where you're looking, as well as like, so a mirror behind a mirror essentially, right? So when you're looking in the mirror, there's an infinite amount of people or yous behind you and in front of you. And so the color that it eventually fades off into is green, because like the mirror is not actually like a perfect reflective surface. It's got a color to it, and that color is green. And when you're looking at the mirror, it's just adding all those layers, just kind of like stacking glass, and it's just showing you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. And if you haven't, go buy about like 50 layers of window panes and like stack them on top of each other. It'll be a fun experiment. See what they look like. I bet you they look green. That's my guess. That's my hypothesis. But you can prove me wrong. I'm going to add some shine here. I don't like how sharp that looks. That's not very pretty. But I want to have like a shine. Because it is plastic and it's reflective. And it's going to reflect whatever light is there. Usually the reflection is on the edge, but I'm using an artistic liberty to kind of change where the reflection is going to be. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Like, the focus isn't exactly the background, so that's why I'm not really getting too focused on it being good. Like, I want it to be good, obviously, but I'm not worried about the minute details of what's going on back here. Because that's not the point. The point is our main character here doing her little shenanigans. Alright. So, the more I'm looking at my reference, the more I'm like understanding the way it's laid out. But it's too late for me now. Like, it'll work for my purposes. I'm just doing this as like, this is the wall, essentially. This is the wall in the background here. And then I'll darken it a little bit just to give it some depth a little. You know what I mean? That'll work. I do want to go back with that white and kind of reinforce these bottoms here. I'm on the wrong way. Reinforce these bottom layers here. Just so that the black isn't so oppressive. Because the black is essentially just the gap between the top part. In the reference I'm looking at, the black is... So, it's a separation of the hopper. It's not even a hopper. It looks like it's just a storage unit. It separates the storage from the actual, like, candy dispensary. Because the reference I'm looking at, it's just... So the bottom is actually the hopper and candy. And then the top is just like extra storage. But anyways, that's fine. Let's sharpen that up and then feather it out again. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I want to add candy. So this one is gonna be. This is gonna be fun. Oh man, I added so many. Oh no! This is gonna take forever. So this one's gonna have red juicy gumdrops in it. Red juicy gumdrops. Get your red juicy gumdrops here. Yum yum yum. Red juicy gum. That's their catchphrase. Yum yum yum. Red juicy gum. That's it. That's how it goes. Yo, if you're looking for a jinglist or a jingle writer, or I don't exactly know what you would call that person. Just, I guess, like a jingle composer. Look me up. I'm there. I'm there. Yum yum yum. Red juicy gum. uh, that's too fine. I needed to be a little more vague than that. Just a little implied. So every one of these light dots is also going to have a shadow as well. I'm just trying to imply candy. I'm trying to do it in a way that's going to minimize me having to draw millions and millions of little pieces. So that one had it. Now it's going to have a shadow. The shiny bit has a shadow. Every light has a dark. And if it doesn't, then it is the source of light. There we go. And then the vibrant red of the actual piece of candy. And then I'm going to go again and just do an extra highlight just to kind of really punch that light through. I really don't want to have to do this 9 more times. Hey! Oh boy. But that's all right. I'll jump through it fast. Just gonna imply a bunch more. Imply a bunch more. And then I'm gonna try something after. This is my experimental hopper, I suppose. Imply, 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 imply. Just imply candy. Imply the candy. Implied candy. Alright. Maybe fill in this bit. And then I'm thinking, what if I go back and like kind of wash over this with a couple of stripes of white? How's that? Does that look like it's kind of like behind plastic or glass or something? I think it does. I think that works. That works right there. So that's going to be my process for every single one of these. How could you let me do this, guys? Like, whoa! My desk broke. So I'm going to have to adjust the angle of my tablet here. And keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Next color is yellow. That's the next color of candy I'm going to go with. This one's smaller though, so maybe it doesn't have to be so bad. Every light has a dark. And if it doesn't have a dark, it's the source. There you go. Just remember that. Let's go in there and do a bunch of lights. Just get in there, add those candies. Add those candies. Add those candies. Get in there and add those candies. Here we go. Get ready for this. This is where you're going to be for the next probably 30 minutes. No, not that yet. We want to get our vibrance. The more you do it though, if you set yourself up for like a tedious, like how I've set myself up for like a tedious bit of artistry, just remember that the more you do it, like the more you'll get the process down better, and then eventually you'll be able to do one of these. Or so time me on this. Time how long it took me to do red. And then by the time I do my last, that's too small. By the time I do my last batch, time me and see how long it took. I would, but I'm gonna probably be very tired too annoyed and tired to just edit that afterwards. Because I'm already getting a little peeved here. There we go. There's yellow. Yellow candy. We got red candy. We got yellow candy. My source has also some blue. So let's do this. Let's do blue right here. Blue's gonna go right in here. Right in shot. Right in shot. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. There we go. And then light. And then I should remember the numbers I put down. I'm sure that people who are good with this program, or like Photoshop-esque programs in general, they probably have like a way to make a brush or something that you just drag the nub across the screen and it just automatically makes like all the candies that you want, and you can change the colors and it'll automatically change everything, and it's just wonderful. But that's people that are good at these programs. I mean, I'm trained in art, but I'm trained in fine art. This isn't this. Hey, let me know in the comments below. Is this fine art? Is this what you would call fine art? Would you call this fine? Because I would. This is beautiful. I'm not going to do a highlight on every single one. Because that'll make it seem like they're actually part of like an actual group of stuff. Because if every single one has a highlight, I mean, never mind. Every single one literally would have a highlight in real life. Because that's just how light rolls. Doesn't care who you are. It'll give you, you'll reflect it no matter what. No matter what, you're reflecting that light. You have no choice. I guess the person who like invented, what's it called, like the perfect black, the shade, it absorbs like 99.99% of light. You know, that color or lack of color. I guess that kind of doesn't have to follow the rules. Let me know what that color is called, because I can't remember. And I'll forget to look it up. But that's kind of weird. What are scientists doing? You know, like, so, who's over here deciding that what the world really needs is a better ink for black? And then so the guy who invented it decided that no one can use it or something. Like there was some controversy about it. How like the inventor of the color wouldn't let people use it or something like that. And if I remember correctly, then somebody else invented one that was like just as good, if not better, than the original, like a shade of like a ink, or is it a paint that's like almost as good as the original, and then he made it free or like regular paint price or something like that. But you have to order it online, and I think this may have been changed, but I think before you're allowed to like purchase it, you have to declare legally that your name is not the name of like the inventor of the original, which is hilarious. You have to say that I am in fact not the jerk who invented the darkest black ever, and then decided that people aren't allowed to actually use it unless they give me a lot of money. Which is in one part funny, but also another part very petty. But that's a pettiness I can get behind. Because like if that guy wanted to like buy some, he would have to essentially break the law, because he would be signing a legal document or something saying that he was not this person, that he is in fact is that person. I don't know. Maybe that there's no legal ground behind that. Hey, if you're a lawyer in the comments, let me know if there's any legal like grounds for that. All right, we're almost done. Oh no, but the if I'm going to follow my source, some of the candies are multicolored. Ooh. What other colors do I have? Maybe I'll just go with like primary colors. I could go purple. Purple candy. I think I will. Purple candy. Here we go. Purplish pink. Lavenderish. Lavenderish. We're going for it. We're going for it. I don't think we're going to have time to do like shading and stuff, because this is going to tap me out. I think I've been going around my process all wrong too. I've been doing like these highlights first, when in actuality I should have probably been doing the base color first and then adding shade second and then highlights on top. But you know what? Now I'm stuck in the groove. And I ain't changing now. I ain't changing now. You can't make me. This is how I've decided. This is the hill I have decided I'm going to die on. But I have decided that I am going to change a little bit, because I'm going to add like the shading pieces in now, rather than doing the true color and then coming back and doing shading. But now I've done shading. This is a smaller hopper, so we're going into true color. We're going to true color now. Here it comes. Here they are. You see it? Pink, purple. So I read that men and women have different perceptions of color, right? So I want the women to tell me what color I am working on right now. What color is this? And then men also tell me, and then I'll decide who is right. I don't like controversy on my channel, can you tell? What other colors can I do before I have to? I could do like a teal color. Or is this some other color? Women, let me know. You gotta let me know. What color is this? I'm just a stupid man with my stupid man eyes. in my man brain. I don't know what color this is. I said teal. Maybe it's turquoise. Maybe it's just like... Is this color more blue or more green to you? This seems to be... Look at this. This color looks more green to me. This seems to be a green influenced color rather than a blue influenced color. Let me know. Let me know. I'll listen. I'm not closed-minded. I'll listen. I'll listen to like your things, your words. I'll read your comments. I'll let you know how right you are or if you're wrong. I'm very open-minded. Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. I've decided that I am going to go back and reinforce these plastic barrier things like the whites here that I did. I'm going to come back in with like a kind of like a grayish to make it look plastic. Try to. Try is the operative word there. Try. Oh, no, I'm not color. Orange. 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 I'm not out yet. Orange is a color. Orange is going to be here. Why? Because, like, orange just feels like a color that's supposed to be here. You know, on the right side. That's how orange works. It goes on the right. This brush is way too big, or way too small for what I'm trying to do right now. You cannot, like, man or woman, you cannot argue that orange is not a right-sided color. There are left-sided colors and there are right-sided colors, and orange is a right-sided color. You know what I mean? That's like an ADHD type of... Or maybe not ADHD, like... What am I thinking? I'm thinking along the lines of, like, there are some people that can feel, not feel, but see music, you know? They see the music. I don't have this, but there's people that, like, it's a phenomenon that people can see music when they listen to it or when they're playing it. They see it, you know? Each note has their own colors, and it's like it's very vibrant and wild and stuff. And that's the kind of thought process I was going along, like an association with something that generally is not associated with that thing. Like music, you can't see music, you hear music, right? But some people just straight up see it. I think Kanye West claims to have this. I don't listen to Kanye West's music at all, but he says he has it. Or maybe, like, somebody said that he has it. I don't know if he himself has claimed to have this ability. But, I mean, I have no reason to think he's lying. I mean, why not? Like, the phenomenon, it, like, literally exists, so why not him have it? Why not him have it? I mean, whether you like him or not as an artist, it doesn't mean he can't have it. I'm sure. What about people that are like pitch deaf? You know what I mean? Like, so there's perfect pitch, and then there's the opposite. I'm not sure the actual word for it. Let's see if I can say technical actual one more time. There we go. That's enough. But I don't know the actual word for it, but it's people who can't sing in key. They can't bring themselves to sing in key. Not because they refuse to, but because they physically can't do it. It's an odd thing. but it's an odd thing. So this piece here looks like it has a bunch of black, white, and red in it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the whites. It's going to be like a calico, or not a calico. Wait. Maybe calico? Is that the one where the cat's like got a patchy, multicolored, like dark brown and red patchy coat? Calico, right? I guess I could look it up. But I haven't looked anything else up yet, so why start now? Alright, that's the base. That's the base. So I'll do it differently this time. So I'll add a couple reds, couple red pieces. Luckily, she's covering up most of this, so I don't have to really. A couple of white pieces. And a couple of dark pieces. The dark pieces do not need a shadow because they're dark enough on their own and a shadow wouldn't be perceptible. So I'm not going to worry about putting a shadow on them. But I will put a shadow on the white and red pieces. Just to waste time. Because realistically, the people reading this book are only going to be looking at this for maybe for giving it a generous amount of time, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It'll take them like a couple seconds to read the page, and then like a parent or a teacher will be like, "Hey, look at the picture. Look at the pretty picture. Haha, look at the dog. Look at the fly. Look at the main character. She's doing her thing." Isn't that wild? Like 5 minutes tops. Tops. I can't imagine people wasting their time looking. No, that's not. I don't mean it like that. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, well, who would waste their time looking at this book? That's not what I mean. People, how when you're reading a book, you're only looking at the page for so long. Eventually, you have to flip the page. And if you're reading like a textbook, not like a school textbook, but just like a normal book, you don't particularly try to linger. You want to know what happens next, so you flip it by. Author, if you're watching this, I wasn't trying to insult. I mean, if it did come off as insulting, I apologize. I'm just saying that I think the effort I'm putting into this particular illustration is outweighing the amount of time that someone is actually going to look at it. But I suppose that's the name of the game as far as any drawing, really. Like, think of like a painting. Think of the Mona Lisa. Like, there's some people that like have some mixed feelings about the actual Mona Lisa painting and like why it's like pretty overrated. But it's the painting. It's the most famous painting in the world, so I'm going to use that as an example. Think of the Mona Lisa. When you saw the Mona Lisa for the first time, whether that was in school or was in the museum, in whatever museum, the Louvre, I think it is, in wherever you were, when you saw the Mona Lisa, how long did you look at that painting? Because for me, like, I every time I see the Mona Lisa, really, I'm just like, neat, cool, all right, next. Like, I don't look at that thing for very long. Probably because I've seen it so many times, but also because, you know, it's a painting. You look at it and that's that. The job's done. Especially since it wasn't for us, you know? It was like a commission for a portrait of some person, right? I guess Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa, whatever, however you pronounce her name. One more, and I want this one to be just a solid color. I don't want to mix around. This is going to be like a cherry red. That's really dark. It's not. It's a lot darker than I meant it to be. This better not look similar to the other red. The background's darker, so it's clearly a different flavor. Can't you tell? But yeah, the Mona Lisa. What's the longest somebody's actually stared at the Mona Lisa, do you think? Because I'm sure there's some weirdo who's decided that they just love this painting, and they've decided to stare at it for a week or something like that, and then security at the museum, they're just looking at each other like, what the heck's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? You think anybody has ever is actually fallen in love with the Mona Lisa? They were just struck by her beauty. She's not like ugly. She's literally used as like a example of like female beauty and fashion at the time, you know? But do you think there's like some oddball who's just looked at it once and were just smitten, and now they love her so much that they're working on a time machine to go back to Italy in like the 15 whatevers? I don't know when Leonardo da Vinci was alive exactly. Pretty sure he was Renaissance. Let's just go in and put these in here real quick, just to imply more separation of the plastic. That's a little much. That's too much. But yeah, I think that's good. So did you time me? How long did it take me? So compare me doing orange to doing red. You know? How long did that take? But I think that's going to do it for this particular episode. Just the backgrounds today. Next time we'll do the just the coloring and shading and stuff. Let me know what you thought about this one. We got controversial a little bit, I think. I don't even remember what I talked about, but I'm assuming I did. Sometimes I get controversial like that. But let me know what you thought. Give it a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one.